Hey there folks, Mark69 here, back here once again in the flesh. Here to do my top 15 albums of 2016, the non-metal version. So if you're interested in checking out my metal list, that would be linked down below. I was going to do this earlier, but unfortunately some personal shit happened, as well as some health problems. I was at the hospital. So it's been a bit rough, but fortunately everything's okay now, and I'm back, and I'm okay for this new goddamn year. And I'm ready to do this goddamn list and get it off my mind. So yeah, but before we get to the 15 albums I'm going to talk about, let's do some runner-ups. First off, we got The Glowing Man by Swans. Their last record, To Be Kind, I thought was fucking amazing, so I was having some high expectations for this one. Unfortunately though, it just kind of gave me an okay feeling. It was pretty good. I mean, considering it's still Swans, it's definitely an interesting album, that's why I'm recommending it. But overall, it's definitely didn't give me that big impressive feeling that To Be Kind did. Still though, a great post-rock album, definitely mind-crushing and dark like Swans usually are. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, check that out. Next, we got some really good shit in terms of industrial and goth stuff. We got the latest Youth Code album, Commitment to Complications, which is really good. Got some old school kind of 9 Inch Nails-ish beats over some hardcore vocals. Definitely some good goth stuff right there. As well as a really good industrial album by Street Sex and Position. Definitely some dark industrial shit right there. So if you're interested in that kind of genre, definitely check those two out. Last but not least, in terms of the runner-ups, we got 2 great synthwave albums, being Ghost with Non Paradisi, as well as Perturbator with The Uncanny Valley. So if you're interested in that sort of a drive soundtrack kind of sound, definitely check those two out, because there's some good synthwave right there. So getting to the list, at number 15, we got the Hope 6 Demolition Project by PG Harvey. It's been like 5 years since she released her critically acclaimed album Let England Shake, and she's once again back with another somewhat politically charged indie rock project. PG Harvey is obviously the British singer-songwriter who was famous for doing some great alternative rock back in the 90s, and lately she's been developing kind of folkish indie rock sound with some multi-instrumentalist stuff going on as well, especially with the saxophone. And it's no different here. This definitely is an album that's quite similar to Let England Shake. However, I definitely have to say that they beefed up the production a bit, which was the only negative thing I could say about Let England Shake, is that I didn't really care too much for the production. I thought it could be done better, and it definitely did that here. However, I still have to say that the songwriting is not as vivid and interesting as it was on their latest album. Though still a great, fantastic project. Some catchy songs, definitely atmospheric, and the saxophone is, as always, great. At number 14, we have We Got It From Here, Thank You For Your Service by A Tribe Called Quest. So this is a great comeback album by the 90s hip-hop legends A Tribe Called Quest. And while I wouldn't call myself like a huge fan or anything, I definitely love Alone Theory, and definitely like some of the affiliated acts with this group, like Souls of Mischief or Hieroglyphics. That being said, I didn't really have any high expectations going into this album, because comeback albums are usually not that great, but this was definitely a surprise. What they did, they took the old school 90s sound that they're definitely famous for and just gave it a fresh coat of paint, especially with the lyrics and everything else, and the whole political turmoil that's going on right now in the world. Definitely helped to make this album great, and it was just a really nice memoriam to Five Dog, who was another lost person we unfortunately passed away 2016, amongst tons of other musical legends. But yeah, overall a great hip-hop record, and if you haven't heard it yet, please check it out. At number 13, we got Hopelessness by Anony. So I had a lot of people talk about this album and decided to give it a shot. I never really listened much to Anthony Johnson's, which I know she was previously in, but this project is definitely really, really great. What sticks out for me mainly is all the atmospheric and ambient beats, and from what I heard, there's a couple of different artists that it took in to make those. And she has a really great voice, and a very unique voice overall, and also really enjoyed the political aspect of this album. I mean, it's definitely quite heavy-handed in terms of the political lyrics that are going on, but some of the songs are just done so well. When she, like, for example, in the song Watch Me, she's talking about government surveillance, but she's speaking of it in terms of her daddy watching her because she loves her, because, you know, you would only watch everything you do if you love someone and want to protect them. It's just a really interesting twist to make a political statement like that, I think. And overall, it's just a really great atmospheric album with all the ambient beats going on, and her vocals are definitely great. There's some songs that I thought was kind of okay, but overall it's a really solid pop album of 2016. At number 12, we got Adore Life by Savages. So this album came out quite early this year because I remember listening to it last winter, but definitely stuck with me for sure. I have to say that I do definitely enjoy Silence Me more because it was their first album and it was just fucking phenomenal. Really blew me away. This album didn't blow me away as much because it was not as fresh, but there is a somewhat of a tonal change which I thought was interesting. It's not as dark as Silence Me was. It's definitely more bright, both in terms of the instrumentation and the sound as well as in the lyrics, obviously, because lyrically it's themed around love and the whole passionate kind of experience you get when you love someone, and it's very energetic in that sense. So I still think Savages definitely retain that passion in the playing and in Jenny Beth's vocals in this record, but I don't think it's as interesting and intricate as Silence Me was. So I'm hoping maybe they'll experiment a little bit more next time around, but overall this is definitely a great rock album of 2016. At number 11 we got Body War by Show Me the Body, which was quite an odd release this year. I definitely didn't think it'd make my list when I first heard it, but what can I say, it stuck with me. So these guys hail from New York. This is their debut record, and they play a mix of genres, but they make it work quite well. They take kind of this punky element of My War era of Black Flag, definitely that sludgy element, mix it with some noise and put hip hop over that. Definitely unique. I mean, you could compare it with Death Grips, obviously, but they have a more analog sound. I think there's like a bass and the guy plays a banjo with distortion on it. It sounds weird, I know, but they make it work. I mean, as I said, this album definitely stuck with me after a while. When I first heard it, I was like, oh, this is interesting and cool, but the song keep being stuck in your head, and they have a catchiness to them, and they have a very unique aspect to them. And for being a debut record to have that, it's pretty darn good. So I didn't think this made my list, but goddamn, I mean, I keep listening to it and it just keeps being fucking awesome. So if you're interested in some crazy noise punk mixed with hip hop, if that sounds appealing to you, definitely check out Show Me the Body with Body War. Coming in at number 10, we have an album that got quite a lot of praise this year, and that is Teens of Denial by Car Seat Headrest. So this is kind of an introduction for me to this band. I don't think I've heard of them before, although I think they released 1 or 2 records prior to this. Though this definitely feels like a breakout album for them because they play like the Colbert Show and the Jimmy Fallon Show after this. So that's really nice for them. Overall, this is a really great indie rock album. They have some very distinguishable influences. I mean, Weezer definitely comes to mind, but that doesn't make the album any less great. Overall, they have some very catchy songs, some great hooks, and overall the thing that stands out to me the most is the lyrics. They're very personal and very great in a storytelling sense. So you really kind of get in the head of this person who's writing this, and overall, just a really great indie rock project. At number 9, we have none other than the OCs with a Weird Exits. So the OCs is a long-running garage rock band that's been doing this for years, and with their last album, Mutilator Defeated at Last, they had quite a big switch up. I think they changed out all the members except John Dwyer, who's the main guy, and they had like 2 drummers, and this gave them a very big kind of sound and changed up things a bit comparing with their other records. And I think that there's definitely a great change because they've just been releasing great stuff since then. I have to say I probably like this record even more than I did with Mutilator Defeated at Last. This has a bit more of a psychedelic experimental edge to it. This is still has that very familiar guitar tone that the OCs have been doing for years, and John Dwyer's vocals are definitely there. But it's a bit more psychedelic, it's a bit more funky and interesting. There's some interludes going on here and there. But you also have these, epic punchy songs that you're familiar with. And it ends on a great kind of rock ballad, which is called The Axis, which is kind of a sad song when you listen to it, but if you read the lyrics, it's kind of like a giant fuck you to your ex, pretty much. But overall, fucking phenomenal rock album. At number 8, we got a great hip-hop release, which is Splendor and Misery by Clipping. So yeah, a lot of people have been talking about this record, and it definitely deserves it. I mean, when I first heard Clipping's self-titled, it didn't really click with me at first, but after a while, goddamn, it really made me love that record. I really enjoyed the noisy production, and David Diggs' absolutely insane flow over it is fucking fantastic. And it's really no different here. The big difference here, obviously, is the subject matter, because this is a concept album about an intergalactic slave ship and a slave that becomes free and kills all the evil slavers on board, and the ship kind of becomes in love with him, which is definitely a unique concept I haven't heard before, especially not in a hip hop release. So yeah, while this album is quite short, it makes up for it with just an absolutely great concept and great fucking flow by David Diggs. Absolutely fucking amazing. Great hip hop release. At number 7, we got another great hip hop release from 2016, which is The Impossible Kid by A$AP Rock. So yeah, I really enjoyed his last album, which was Skeleton. I thought it was a bit more adventurous, especially with the beats. But this album I really enjoyed more, and I think it has more to do with the fact that it was a bit more personal. Usually you get kind of these idiosyncratic lyrics from A$AP Rock, which you have to really sit down and try to understand. But here it's definitely a bit more easygoing, a bit more personal, and I really enjoyed that side of him. And it just made for a great album that I just kept listening to over and over again. A really great, solid hip-hop album from 2016. At number 6, we have Black Star by David Bowie. So yeah, it's hard to say anything else about this record that hasn't already been said like 100 times. I mean, David Bowie was an amazing artist that kept consistently changing the sound and updating it with the times, just creating some amazing albums that still, are fucking fantastic today. Just a very unique kind of person that, did a lot for this world and our culture and stuff. And I mean, he left us with a fantastic, dark, and a beautiful album, which is Black Star. And he was actually even trying to do more stuff before he died, and it's just crazy that you can be that hardworking and creative till your very last day. It's just phenomenal. It's what a way to start the year. But yeah, fantastic album, and if you haven't heard it yet, please definitely check it out. At number 5, got none other than Run the Jewels with Run the Jewels Free, motherfucker. Fucking finally, man. This album came super fucking late. I mean, it was on a Christmas day or something. Fucking crazy. Yeah, so it still officially got released in 2016, so it will make the list. And it was another reason to hold off making the list for a little bit, because I had to go through and listen to it. But yeah, overall, man, fucking phenomenal. I mean, Run the Jewels did it again. Great. They just keep outdoing themselves. I can't really decide just yet if I like it more than 2, because 2 was really great. But this is a bit more different, and that's why I liked it, because Run Just 1 and 2, specifically 2, is way more hard-hitting, and this definitely starts off on a bit more somber note, which I think it fits quite a bit, because in 2016, a lot of shit happened, a lot of people passed away, and it's just, it was kind of somber feeling going into this new year. But I mean, it was definitely an interesting way to start off the album, even though it kicks the pace right back up after that. I think LP absolutely nailed the production. I think definitely the production is the best out of the 3. But overall, my goddamn, a phenomenal, fantastic hip-hop record. It's politically charged, has absolutely fantastic flows, great production. Everything you'd want out of a great hip-hop release is there. So yeah, fuck yeah, Run the Jewels Free did it again. Can't wait to get it on vinyl. Coming in at number 4, we got another great hip-hop release from 2016. There's a lot of hip-hop in this list, I know, but maybe next year I'll even make a separate list, depending on what music comes out. But yeah, number 4, we got Atrocity Exhibition by Danny Brown. Holy fucking shit, what an album. I absolutely did not expect the sound that this album brings. Absolutely phenomenal. I mean, first off the bat, I have to say that Triple X is one of my favorite hip-hop releases of all time. So when I heard Old, it had a bit more commercial sound, because Danny Brown was becoming a bit more commercial, doing a lot of features and other stuff. So it kind of worried me, but I definitely did not bring me to expect something like this to come out. And I'm definitely very, very happy that it did. This album is very dark and it's moody, And obviously Danny Brown explores his adventurous lifestyle of sex, drugs, and rock and roll basically. So this album is kind of like the Hangover, if you would call old the party album or whatever. I think Anthony Fantano said that, which it rings true definitely. I mean, this is a phenomenal dark hip hop record, and I definitely haven't heard anything like this in hip hop before. And just overall, damn. I mean, Danny Brown is one of my favorite MCs in hip hop overall, and it just proved it with this album that is a fucking madman. This album is dark, moody, and absolutely fantastic. At number 3, we have My Woman by Angel Olsen. So this is another surprise for me. I definitely did not expect to like this album as much as I did. But wow, what a phenomenal, great singer-songwriter record. When I heard Angel Olsen's last album, it didn't leave much of an impression on me at all. It was pretty mediocre. So I absolutely had no expectations on this. And when I heard there was a lot of hype from this album, I was like, whatever, I'll wait. And I heard it like maybe a month or a little bit more back, and I haven't stopped listening to it ever since. It's just a great fucking record. It's very sad and somewhat haunting. It has a bit more of a 60s, 70s kind of classic rock, somewhat psychedelic vibe to it as well. The closest thing I could compare it to, I guess, in terms of the impression left on me, is definitely Sharon Van Etten's Are We There from 2014, which I also think is an absolutely phenomenal, stellar record. This definitely has the same vibe to it. I mean, her voice is just, it's insane. I mean, her voice has so much emotion in it that, it hits you right in the feels, man. Hits you right in the feels. And I was going through some shit not too long ago, and this definitely helped, this album. If you're in the mood for something a bit more sad, a bit more somber, a bit more emotional, this is a great, fantastic fucking singer-songwriter record. My Woman with Angels. At number 2, we got none other than motherfucking Death Grips with Bottomless Pit. Goddamn, Death Grips has done it again. They've fucking done it again. Every fucking year they just come out with this crazy fucking shit. I mean, back in 2015 we got Jenny Death and the Powers That Be, which was insane, and just been keeping like recent EPs and all this random shit. And it's just all fucking great for the most part. I mean, some of it's better than the other, obviously, but overall, I mean, goddamn, how much shit can it pump out? But yeah, fucking great album. This is probably their most accessible album since The Money Store, if you can call it Death Grips accessible in any way. And obviously played this very crazy, kind of industrial, noisy hip hop. They came out of fucking nowhere and just blew everyone away. And they just keep releasing great shit. What stands out about this record for me is definitely they absolutely nailed the production. It's been kind of hit or miss sometimes with it being too loud or too distorted, and here they kind of just had the perfect amount of polish to this record to make it just right amount of distorted and just nicely packaged into just one great album. So I mean, while I still would recommend probably The Money Store as a great introduction to Death Grips, this is definitely up there. Especially, I think Mike Seatown said this would be a great introduction if you're into metal, you've never heard Death Grips, or you're interested in getting into hip hop. I definitely think Bottomless Pit is a great introduction for that. Just overall crazy, noisy, industrial hip hop. I mean, no one sounds like Death Grips. It's just fucking Death Grips, and they released another fantastic fucking album from 2016. And we're finally at the number 1 spot. My number 1 pick for the non-metal album of 2016 is Emotional Mugger by Ty Segall. Holy fucking shit, what a great album. I mean, if you know him personally, it's probably not a surprise, but I mean, considering the fact this album also came out quite early, like Savages, the fact that it's still my number 1 pick, I think says a lot, because I've been listening to this album quite a lot this year. And it's just a phenomenal fucking great record. Ty Segall, as I said, is one of my favorite artists, especially within the genre of garage rock, where he's just been absolutely killing it. Yeah, I mean, the favorite album of mine is still probably Slaughterhouse. I think it's their best, absolutely phenomenal, great record. This comes close. It definitely comes close. But this album is definitely more weird. It's a bit more eccentric and weird, and I really enjoyed this kind of odd turn that they made, because his last 2 albums were fairly fucking mediocre and didn't really leave much of an impression on me at all. This album is weird, it's kind of quirky, and it's crazy, and the production overall is really noisy and high and low, and just it definitely fits the style of music that they're playing. I really enjoyed the fact that, you know, he got a new band together and decided to go in this direction, because I just absolutely love this. It's catchy, it's fun, it's a really enjoyable record, especially if you're into garage rock or rock music overall. And yeah, as I said, since this has been out almost a whole year and I've still been listening to it and enjoying it as much as I have, it definitely deserves the #1 spot for me. So yeah, finally done with this list. It took me quite a while, but yeah, hopefully this will be up soon. And yeah, next we got the Christmas update coming up, as well as another vinyl update after that, and probably another one after that. But yeah, that'll be fun. And yeah, hope everyone has had a good new year, a great new year. Hopefully 2017 will be pretty good to us. And yeah, until next time, have a good one.